It's Friday, and you've made it just in time for your favorite TV program, Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry, and I'll be taking you through the pages today, so stay with us.
You've asked for it, and now it's here. The Jamaica Information Service has updated its mobile app. It's easier to navigate, loads even faster than before, talking about top speed, operates seamlessly across platforms, and we're a creative bunch, so it's much easier on the eyes. Now you have quick and easy access to news stories, television and radio features, and a variety of photos right at your fingertips. And you'll get push notifications when new content is uploaded. Download the app on your Apple and Android devices now and get news you can use. Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica on the go.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Friday, July 10. Residents of Ligonier in St. Andrew can now traverse with ease in and out of their community as a $26 million bridge was commissioned into service last night. Prime Minister Andrew Holness officially opened the bridge, which is accompanied by a rehabilitated roadway that boasts new markings.
We're going to develop your city, Kingston, to be the Pearl City of the Caribbean. Jamaica is the center of the Caribbean, and Kingston will be the central city, and it starts by building world-class infrastructure. Whether it is one road at a time, one bridge at a time, one culvert at a time, we are going to do it, and we're going to do it well.
The upgraded two-lane bridge was completed in 2.5 months. It replaces a previously deficient one-lane structure. Ligonier Avenue, which was closed to vehicular traffic in May to facilitate the roadwork, can now also be used again. Recent data from the National Epidemiology Unit indicate that the dengue outbreak in Jamaica has officially ended. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton made the disclosure during his contribution to the 2020-2021 sectoral debate in Parliament on Tuesday.
It means that we are no longer having cases of dengue above the threshold case. In fact, the last 4 months, we have seen below threshold numbers. 37 cases in March, 2 cases in April, 8 cases in May, and 2 cases in June. Mr. Speaker, it's been a long struggle, but the government has given support, the public health team have worked, the infrastructure has responded, and we can say Jamaicans are safer as it relates to dengue.
Jamaica had been experiencing the dengue outbreak since January 2019. The minister reminded persons that the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which transmits the disease, is endemic to Jamaica and urged continued vigilant activities, such as getting rid of breeding sites to safeguard against future outbreaks. Still on health, construction of all 4 high-dependency units, HDUs, has been completed under the Program for the Reduction of Maternal and Child Mortality, PROMAC. This was done at a cost of $1.5 billion. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton officially opened the 3rd HDU on Wednesday at the Spanish Town Hospital.
This facility, which was completed at a cost of some $423 million, that's a lot of money, is going to certainly ensure that the Jamaicans, mothers, supported by fathers, who have to use this facility for themselves and their newborn, will have as good as any other facility anywhere.
The 4th High Dependency Unit will be opened at the Bustamante Hospital for Children. The Legal Aid Council, LAC, is moving to have the cases relisted for 10 persons who have been incarcerated for extended periods of time. Getting a case relisted means that it is once again set for consideration in the court. Executive Director Hugh Faulkner says the council will be making the application for relisting at the Halfway Tree Parish Court. He says this forms part of the Legal Aid Council's efforts to facilitate the processing of cases for persons in the system, particularly those who are mentally ill. Mr. Faulkner is encouraging family members to step up and claim these persons.
We'll be publishing their names in a notice or news form, whatever form, and inviting, says a leap of faith we are taking, that Either the relatives come forward or some infirmary said to us, we take one, we take two. But we'll be filing 10 in another few days at halfway 3.
All is in place for administering this year's sitting of the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination (CAPE) and Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate (CSEC) examinations, which begin next Monday. This news was revealed recently by Acting Chief Education Officer Dr. Kassan Troop. Dr. Troop says the Education Ministry has provided additional funding for institutions to ensure that infection prevention and control measures are maintained as Jamaica continues to grapple with the COVID-19 pandemic. She says additional centers have also been established within schools and, in some cases, the entire campus will be used if necessary. Isolation areas and special offices will be set up to facilitate extreme cases. Approximately 58,720 students have registered to sit CSEC subjects and 16,184 for CAPE. Orals for foreign languages have already commenced. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Plans are in place to declare the Black River Lower and Upper Morass a protected area. The revised National Land Policy is being finalized for submission to Cabinet as a green paper, and Jamaica is on track to implement the third phase of the ban on single-use plastics. These are just a few of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation's plans for the 2020-2021 fiscal year. More details await you next.
Good day, you're tuned in to MEGJC TV. Today we'll be looking at the plans for the 2020-2021 financial year in the land, environment, climate change and investment portfolios. With the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation is looking ahead, ensuring that Jamaica's growth is sustained. The Ministry's Infrastructure and Construction Task Force has compiled a list of recommendations that are to be presented to the Cabinet for consideration. The Infrastructure and Construction Group is a subset of the COVID-19 Recovery Economic Task Force. Members met and discussed short, medium, and long-term measures to drive economic growth post-COVID-19. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Daryl Vaz, says the recommendations have been assessed and will be included in the report to Cabinet.
While there was concern from stakeholders, most of the industries seemed optimistic about the future and the continuing demand for products.
Minister Vaz says work from home arrangements for 40% of the business process outsourcing sector has been extended until August 31. And a task force for the sector, in partnership with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, has approved new protocols to govern operations.
Inspections are undertaken by the public health inspectors using the BPO inspection tool and the Public Health Institutional Health Inspection form that has been developed with a view to minimizing the risk of transmission.
The Development Bank of Jamaica DBJ has revamped its credit enhancement facility to increase micro, small and medium-sized enterprises' access to loans from financial institutions. The change includes a revision of the scheme's business model and an increase in processing times.
The CEF acts as an incentive to the financial institutions to increase MSME lending, enables qualified MSMEs with viable projects to get additional collateral support and facilitate the acceptance of non-traditional collateral by financial institutions.
The DBJ is also targeting the MSME sector by increasing the volume of loans and introducing the Jamaica Business Fund. For the upcoming year, the Boosting Innovation, Growth and Entrepreneurship Ecosystems Big E program will be prioritized. The DBJ will also roll out the initial public offering for the Jamaica Public Service and set plans in motion for other projects under the Privatization and Public Partnership Program.
The Factories Corporation of Jamaica Limited has begun construction on Phase 1 of the Garmex Redevelopment and Expansion Project, where 126,000 square feet of space is being built specifically for MSMEs.
Minister Vaz says the factories corporation will be undertaking the design and construction of government and private sector space at the Morant Bay Urban Centre in St. Thomas and Boundbrook in Portland. Work continues apace at the Naggohead Tech Park, while the Portmore Informatics Park, which is being undertaken by the Port Authority of Jamaica, is expected to be completed this year.
The Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority reports that there are approximately 168 entities operating in the country's special economic zones, with a total of investment of more than 1.4 billion Jamaican dollars.
New investments in the sector are expected to exceed $3.1 billion US, while increasing the available space to 150,000 square feet. The Jamaica International Services Authority has finalized several pieces of legislation which are expected to go before Parliament in this financial year. They include the Limited Liability Companies Act, the Segregated Accounts Companies Bill, and the Partnership Regulations. When passed, the acts are expected to improve the island's business and investment environment. In the meantime, the government will soon launch the Jamaica Development Application Portal. The portal is currently being piloted. Minister Darrell Vaz says it will increase efficiency in the development application review process. The revised National Land Policy is being finalized for submission as a green paper to the Cabinet in the second quarter of the financial year. A final review of the National Spatial Plan is being conducted for submission to the Cabinet. And Minister Vaz says a National Spatial Plan Information Technology Platform will be ready by the end of the financial year. Jamaica is on track to implement the third phase of the ban on single-use plastics, which takes effect on January 1, 2021. The ban will include single-use plastic bags with dimensions above 24 by 24 inches and single-use drinking straws attached to juice boxes or pouches. $628.3 million has been raised from the cess placed on plastic bottles. The cess will help to establish a deposit refund scheme on the island, which is expected to start in January 2021. 16.3 million of the targeted 100 million bottles were collected for the scheme between January and March this year. Minister Vaz says the policy on hazardous waste will go before the Cabinet this financial year as a white paper. The biosafety, emissions, as well as the beach access and management policies are to be tabled in the lower house within the legislative year.
The Ministry will be continuing its work towards the amendment of key pieces of environmental legislation, including the Wildlife Protection Act, Endangered Species Act, and the Forest Act.
Plans are afoot to declare the Black River Lower and Upper Morass a protected area. In the Cockpit country, 77.9 kilometers of the area proposed for protection has been ground truth, and permanent markers have been erected on 65.54 kilometers.
The Forestry Department executed its first pilot carbon assessment in Bogue 2 Forest Reserve in St. Anne, calculating a total of 32.584 tons of carbon per hectare. This is a significant achievement for the agency and country towards our capacity to become red and ready.
The government has signaled its intention to develop a national adaptation plan for Jamaica. The plan will identify priority sectors and actions for advancing climate change in the post-COVID-19 era. And the Meteorological Service of Jamaica will establish the Comprehensive Bushfire Warning Index. It will also implement impact-based weather forecast products and install a ground-based satellite reception system.
Full and sustainable recovery of our economy, our social structures, and our environment will require a fundamental shift in mindsets, attitudes, as well as critical changes in how we socialize, work, educate, interact with our natural and built environments.
And that's it for news on MegJC TV. Looking ahead to sustainable growth in the new normal.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash, no paper, no dash, no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your
Keep we
eat.
island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
As much as we may not want to hear it, COVID-19 is still among us. This reality may cause many of us to become worried, flustered, or even stressed. Some may have thought of resorting to using drugs to curtail their anxiety, but this is not a smart option. Here's why.
Generally across the world, it is accepted that persons with substance use disorders and people who are chronic users, problematic users of various substances, particularly smoking. So you're smoking cigarettes, you're smoking ganja, you're vaping, and then also alcohol use puts you at a unique risk for developing the complications that are associated with COVID.
The novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19 is notorious for attacking the human lungs. It's no wonder then that among the most vulnerable are people with compromised lung function or lung disease as a result of chronic smoking and alcohol abuse. The National Council on Drug Abuse is now more than ever urging Jamaicans to reduce and avoid excessive smoking and alcohol use. Though persons may feel the need to resort to substance abuse during the COVID-19 outbreak due to stress, worry, and fear, this can be a detrimental move. Rather than relieving stress and worry, substance abuse will weaken the immune system, damage the liver and lungs, and put persons at greater risk for suffering the worst symptoms associated with COVID-19 and other life-threatening illnesses. Additionally, the behavioral practice of smoking also poses added risks. If a person's hands are contaminated, then putting a cigarette, spliff, or vaping device at their mouth will cause them to easily become infected with COVID-19. To reduce drug abuse among chronic users, the National Council on Drug Abuse has proposed a few coping mechanisms. Contact your relatives, friends, and ex-addicts if you are struggling with chronic drug abuse. They may not be able to physically be there with you, but a call can give you the encouragement you need. Having a healthy immune system is important to survive this and any other virus. So ensure you eat well and engage in regular exercise to boost your immune system. Some parents are experiencing additional stress by having to supervise their children at home during this time. Structure can make you more productive and lessen chaos. It can also be beneficial to ask your children to help create the schedule. Make time for alone time. Ask other family members in the home to supervise the children while you do something for yourself. Use the time to better yourself, create new habits, focus on what you need to learn, grow, and give. Spend time pinpointing the things that are making you stressed and prone to abusing drugs. Try to address them one step at a time and find ways to distract yourself when these triggers appear. The National Council on Drug Abuse is now offering telecounseling throughout the island. For the Eastern Office, persons can call 876-926-9002 or 876-469-2521 for the Central Office and 876-940-2240 for the Western Office. Persons can also contact the General Helpline at 876-564-HELP. That's 876-564-4357.
properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
As we all know, elderly persons, especially those with underlying health conditions, are advised by government to stay home as much as possible to reduce their risk of contracting COVID-19. As a result of this, the National Health Fund has instituted a home delivery service for members of this vulnerable group. They are now able to get their medication delivered right to their doorsteps.
Senior citizens in the cohort 60 years and older represent the fastest growing demographic segment of the society, as more people are living longer. This changing dynamic has prompted the government to ensure improvements in the level of responsiveness to new expectations and needs of our seniors. The need for quality healthcare is top of the list. One aspect of quality healthcare service is the prompt access to affordable medication. So the Ministry of Health and Wellness, through the National Health Fund (NHF), has been leading the government's charge in providing critical supplies of medication at subsidized costs to persons in need. That includes seniors. The NHF has been improving its service by employing ingenious means of delivering medication and reducing waiting times and overcrowding at prescription outlets.
We are using a number of services in order to make it easier for our customers. We have the Prescript mobile app. We have a drop-off and pick-up service. We have scheduled refill for persons who come to the pharmacy frequently with the same medication. And we have a number of other initiatives in which we contact clients to work out easy ways for them to receive their medication.
A home delivery service for drug-served patients 65 years and older is the NHF's latest addition to its offerings. This emerged as a response to the coronavirus pandemic.
As most people know, the NHF is a customer-centric organization, and with COVID-19 we actually looked at different ways of better serving our customers. Medication delivery is an idea that we have had under active discussion for a number of years, and we found that this was an opportune time to implement this service.
This new service is available to drug-served patients on the NHF's scheduled refill program, who have monthly appointments to pick up their medication at a drug-served pharmacy.
So for these patients, we give them 2 months supply of medications, basically, and the feedback is just excellent. It's really great. But when you look at how grateful they are, because some of them they can't walk, some of them they're disabled in terms of hearing and so on. So when you can come to them to actually give them their medications, it's really heart-touching, basically. So and they're very grateful. They say it all the time, and they are loving the service as it is now.
This was started in St. Thomas, and we've expanded into Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as in St. Catherine, and other parishes have now started, St. James and other parishes, and the intent is to have this program island-wide.
The NHF's home delivery service is set to benefit approximately 30,000 beneficiaries over 65 years of age, as well as other vulnerable groups that the fund believes can benefit from medication delivery.
We just received a call, asked if we would want it to be delivered, and we readily accepted it. The wait can be very long. I know they try to cut back sometimes by using the the scheduled thing, but even then, you have to go and sometimes you wait up to an hour. So this is just ideal.
Patients may want to check out the NHF's online avenues, such as web chat, to indicate their need for delivery service. Persons can text their name and their drugstore pharmacy to 876-219-9937 or 876-219-9929. They can also call the NHF at 876-906-1106 from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. weekdays.
I take the opportunity to commend our pharmacists, our pharmacy technicians, and all the team who facilitated this.
This is a good service now. Let me say you must stay at home. And the service that you come and present, a wonderful service.
We are loving the service. We really appreciate it, and we wish it would continue.
Customers need not worry about having a National Health Fund NHF card or a Jamaica Drug for the Elderly JADEP card. The service will still be offered.
But at this time, when we come and realize that, oh, probably you don't have a card, what we can do is give you the steps as to how to get the cards. And in order to access the cards, it's a same-day printing at any of our drugstore locations that are named for that service.
The NHF, reaching out, helping to make Jamaica the place of choice to live in good health.
Boys and girls, I know this is difficult for you, and I encourage you. Just follow the instructions of the adult. They're all set up to keep you safe. We want you to remain safe. We want you to do well.
CXC and CAPE external examinations begin this Monday, July 13, and I know a lot of our students may be a little bit more anxious than they would have been normally because COVID-19 is among us. But you heard the acting CEO of the Ministry of Education. Though things are rough, if you continue to abide by the protocols established by government, then you will be fine. You have put in the hard work over the past few months, and now is the time to ace those exams. Take a deep breath, and you will do well. All the best.
My sweet Jamaica, whoa, I love Jamaica, whoa, let's do it. And in a deer, everybody jump, put your one in a deer. Move to the left and put your one in a deer. Move to the right and put your one up in a deer.
And that's all we have for you today on Jamaica Magazine. Thanks for browsing with us. While you go, do remember that you can rewatch today's program on our website, jis.gov.jm. Don't forget that you are also able to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for the latest news and information. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.